Imagine attending a gala, thinking it's just another night out, only to find out you're the long-lost daughter of a billionaire. That's exactly what happened to Sarah, turning her world upside down and setting her on a path of unexpected challenges and triumphs. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment and tell me in the comments. What would you do if you suddenly discovered your entire identity was built on a hidden truth? Would you confront it immediately or walk away? And if you love powerful stories of shocking revelations, hidden identities, and life-changing twists, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss what happens next. Every story is crafted to keep you thinking, feeling, and guessing until the very end. Now, let's continue. In the heart of the grand ballroom, the Sterling Foundation Charity Gala shimmered with an opulence that seemed to stretch beyond the crystal chandeliers and finely dressed patrons. The air was thick with the clinking of glasses and hushed murmurs, a testament to the wealth and status that gathered under one roof. Amidst the glamour, a woman stood out not for her attire, which was simple yet tastefully elegant, but for the quiet intensity in her eyes. She was here with Michael, her husband, who navigated the room with the ease of someone accustomed to such circles. But for her, this was unfamiliar territory, a world she felt she had merely stumbled into. As the evening unfolded, a sense of unease crept over her, a premonition that tonight would unravel layers of her life she had yet to uncover. It was then that an elderly gentleman, his presence as commanding as it was kind, approached her. His name was Robert, a longtime associate of Jonathan Sterling, whose reputation preceded him even in whispers. He extended a photograph toward her, a relic that instantly drew her in. There, captured in fading sepia tones, was a younger version of her mother alongside a man with eyes so familiar they could have been her own. "You have your father's eyes," Robert remarked, his gaze steady and knowing. The photograph trembled slightly in her hands as the room spun around her, the noise fading into the background of her racing thoughts. Could it be true? Was she, a humble schoolteacher, the daughter of Jonathan Sterling, a billionaire whose empire touched lives around the globe? Michael found her soon after, standing at the edge of the gala, her face a canvas of disbelief and dawning realization. She thrust the photograph toward him, demanding answers under the cool night sky on the terrace. His confession came quietly, tinged with regret. He had known all along, choosing to keep her heritage a secret, a card to be played in their favor when the time came. The betrayal cut deep, each word a reminder of the trust that lay shattered between them. The days that followed were a whirlwind of discovery and introspection. Information about her father flowed in like a tide. Jonathan Sterling, a visionary known for his philanthropic ventures and the tech empire he had built from the ground up. Yet, the company now teetered on the brink of ethical collapse, a shadow of its former self. Sarah, driven by a desire to honor her father's legacy and reclaim her own identity, resolved to step into this unfamiliar world. Her journey into the heart of Sterling Industries was met with skepticism, her intentions questioned by those who had long served her father. Yet, she approached each challenge with a steely resolve, inspired by the vision of a company that could once again lead with integrity and innovation. Michael's attempts to reconcile were met with caution. Trust would take time to rebuild, if at all. As Sarah forged ahead, she crafted a plan not just to preserve her father's legacy, but to transform it. Her ideas, rooted in sustainability and social impact, began to take shape, winning over allies and slowly shifting the tide. Within the company, the boardroom became her arena, a place where she would fight not just for her place but for a future that honored the values she held dear. In the pivotal moments that followed, as she stood before the board, her passion and clarity shone through. The votes fell in her favor, a testament to her strength and vision. Sarah realized that she was not alone in this fight. She carried with her the spirit of her father, the dreams of a better world, and the hope of a legacy reborn. With each step, she moved closer to a future she could believe in, one where her role was not defined by wealth or power, but by the impact she could make. Her personal life, once fraught with deception, now held the promise of renewal, founded on honesty and mutual respect. As the sun set on the Sterling estate, Sarah stood on the cusp of a new chapter, ready to embrace the challenges and triumphs that awaited her. The night air outside the Sterling estate was crisp and still, a stark contrast to the whirlwind of emotions churning inside Sarah. She stood alone on the balcony, the distant hum of the gala fading into the background as she attempted to process the life-altering discovery that had just unfolded. Her heart raced with a mix of disbelief and wonder, each beat echoing the revelation that she was the daughter of Jonathan Sterling, a man whose name was synonymous with power and wealth, yet a stranger in the fabric of her life. As the cool breeze brushed against her skin, Sarah's thoughts drifted to her late mother, wondering if she had kept this secret to protect her or if it was a truth even she was unaware of. Her mind raced back to fragments of childhood, searching for clues that might have hinted at such an extraordinary heritage. But there was nothing, no whispered conversations, no hidden documents, just the quiet life they'd led, far removed from the opulence surrounding her now. With a deep breath, she resolved to uncover the truth. The gala's opulence beckoned her back inside, but she knew that answers lay elsewhere, buried within the archives of a past carefully concealed. The next morning, fueled by a newfound determination, Sarah found herself in the Sterling Estate's library, a room she had never imagined exploring. The air was thick with history, shelves lined with leather-bound volumes, each a testament to the legacy she was now part of. Her fingers traced the spines of books and family records, finally landing on a set of diaries her father's. They were worn, the pages yellowed with age, yet they pulsed with the life and times of Jonathan Sterling. As she delved into the entries, the portrait of a man emerged, a visionary, driven by ideals yet haunted by the pressures of his empire. His words painted a picture of ambition and regret, of sacrifices made and dreams pursued at great cost. Through his writings, Sarah discovered a side of her father she had never known. He spoke of the challenges Sterling Industries faced, the internal battles to maintain its values amidst an ever-changing corporate landscape. There was pride in his achievements, but also a palpable sense of longing for something more meaningful, a legacy that extended beyond profits and power. Armed with fragments of her father's thoughts, Sarah felt a growing connection to him, a pull towards the world he had built and left behind. Sterling Industries, once a beacon of innovation and integrity, now stood at a crossroads. Its reputation had tarnished over the years, marred by ethical lapses and diminishing creativity. The company was a shadow of its former self, struggling to uphold the very values Jonathan Sterling had championed. The more she read, the clearer it became that her father had envisioned a future where Sterling Industries could lead with purpose, a vision lost amidst the machinations of those who had taken the reins. Sarah knew she had to see it for herself, to understand the legacy she was now tasked with preserving and transforming. It was a daunting prospect, but as the sun rose on a new day, she felt a spark of determination, a desire to honor her father's dreams while forging her own path. Standing before the grand entrance of Sterling Industries, Sarah felt a mixture of apprehension and resolve. The sleek, modern facade belied the turmoil within, a company grappling with its identity in a world demanding accountability and innovation. As she stepped inside, the hum of activity enveloped her, a stark contrast to the quiet reflection of the library where her journey had begun. Her arrival was met with curiosity, whispers trailing her as she walked through the halls once dominated by her father. The boardroom became her first stop, a place where decisions that shaped the company's future were made. Here, she would face the legacy of Jonathan Sterling, a legacy now intertwined with her own destiny. As she prepared to delve deeper into the heart of Sterling Industries, Sarah knew the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. Yet, she felt the weight of her father's presence, his words guiding her as she navigated this new world. It was not just about claiming her place within the company. It was about redefining what it meant to be a Sterling, to lead with integrity and vision in a world yearning for change. With each step, Sarah embraced the responsibility that came with her newfound heritage, determined to honor her father's legacy while crafting a future that resonated with her own values. The journey of self-discovery had only just begun, a path laden with trials and triumphs, but one she was ready to embark upon with courage and conviction. As she stood on the precipice of a new chapter, Sarah realized that the past, once a distant echo, was now a guiding force, propelling her towards a future where love and legacy would converge in a narrative all her own. The towering glass facade of Sterling Industries loomed before Sarah, a monument to her father's legacy and her newfound destiny. As she stood at the entrance, a rush of emotions surged through her apprehension, excitement, and a deep-seated determination to make her mark. The sun glinted off the building's sleek lines, casting reflections of a world she was only beginning to understand. Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped inside, the cool, modern interior a stark contrast to the cozy warmth of her previous life. The hum of activity surrounded her, a symphony of brisk footsteps and muted conversations. Every eye seemed to track her movements, whispers trailing in her wake. She felt like an outsider in her own domain, yet there was a spark within her that refused to be dimmed. This was her father's dream, a vision she was now tasked with preserving and transforming. Walking through the polished corridors, Sarah could sense the legacy of Jonathan Sterling in every corner. His presence was palpable, a guiding force as she navigated the unfamiliar landscape. Her first stop was the boardroom, a place where the future of Sterling Industries hung in the balance. As she entered, the room fell silent, the air thick with expectation. The board members sat around a gleaming table, their expressions a mix of skepticism and curiosity. To them, she was an enigma, the daughter of a man whose shoes seemed impossible to fill. Sarah met their gazes with quiet determination, aware that this was her moment to prove herself. She introduced herself with confidence, outlining her vision for the company, a blend of honoring her father's ideals and infusing her own values. As she spoke, she could feel the weight of their scrutiny, the doubts they harbored about her ability to lead. Yet, there was also a flicker of hope, a recognition that perhaps she could breathe new life into the company. The meeting concluded with a sense of cautious optimism, a tentative step towards a future yet to be defined. Later that evening, Sarah found herself alone in her office, the city lights painting a mesmerizing tapestry outside her window. It was a moment of solitude, a chance to reflect on the whirlwind of the day. Just as she was about to lose herself in thought, a soft knock on the door interrupted her reverie. Michael stood at the threshold, his expression a mixture of regret and hope. Sarah felt a pang of conflicting emotions: hurt, anger, and a lingering affection for the man she had once loved. He stepped inside, closing the door gently behind him, as if sealing them away from the chaos of the world. "Sarah," he began, his voice tinged with sincerity, "I know I've hurt you. I've made mistakes I deeply regret. But I'm here now, willing to make amends, if you'll let me." She studied him, searching his eyes for the truth. There was a vulnerability in his demeanor, a genuine desire to mend what had been broken. Yet, the scars of his deceit ran deep, a constant reminder of the betrayals that had shattered their trust. "Michael," she replied, her voice steady but laced with caution, "I appreciate your honesty, but trust isn't easily rebuilt. You kept so much from me, and it's hard to just forget that." He nodded, understanding the magnitude of the bridge he needed to rebuild. "I know it'll take time, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to earn back your trust. I want us to find a way forward, not just for us, but for the children too." A silence stretched between them, filled with the weight of unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Sarah wanted to believe in second chances, in the possibility of healing and redemption. Yet, she also knew that rebuilding their relationship would require a foundation of absolute honesty, a promise she needed him to uphold. "Let's start with honesty," she said finally, her tone firm yet hopeful. "If we're going to try again, it has to be based on truth. No more secrets, no more lies." Michael agreed, a look of relief washing over his features. It was a tentative step towards reconciliation, a fragile hope that perhaps, together, they could navigate the complexities of their intertwined lives. As he left her office, Sarah felt a sense of cautious optimism. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges and opportunities for growth. Yet, she was determined to face it all with courage and integrity, honoring her father's legacy while forging her own path. The journey had only just begun, a tale of love, legacy, and the resilience to confront whatever lay ahead. The morning sun filtered through the high windows of the conference room, casting gentle patterns on the polished mahogany table where the board of directors had gathered. Sarah stood at one end, her presence commanding yet approachable. She wore a tailored suit that spoke of both confidence and respect for the occasion. As she surveyed the room, Sarah felt a mix of anticipation and determination. Today, she would unveil her vision for the company, a vision that she hoped would breathe new life into its storied halls. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice steady and sincere. The faces around the table were a mix of curiosity, skepticism, and cautious optimism. As you know, the company has been at a crossroads, caught between maintaining tradition and adapting to the demands of a changing world. Today, I want to present a vision that honors our past while embracing the future through sustainable innovation and community outreach. She paused, allowing her words to settle over the room. The projector hummed softly as it displayed slides outlining her proposals. "Our first initiative is to reduce our carbon footprint by integrating sustainable practices across all operations. This includes investing in green technologies and sourcing materials ethically. It's not just about doing what's right for the environment, it's also about setting a standard for corporate responsibility." Nods of agreement rippled through the room, a sign that some were receptive to her ideas. Sarah continued, her passion evident in the way her eyes lit up with each point she made. "Moreover, I propose we engage more actively with the communities around us. By initiating outreach programs and partnerships with local businesses, we can foster trust and create opportunities for growth that benefit everyone." As she spoke, Sarah noticed the subtle shifts in the board members' postures. Some leaned forward, intrigued, while others glanced at each other, gauging reactions. She knew this was only the beginning of a journey that would require patience and perseverance. After the presentation, The atmosphere in the room was charged with a sense of possibility. Sarah had planted seeds of change, but she understood that nurturing them required more than just words. It was time to win hearts and minds. Over the next few days, Sarah made it a point to meet with employees and board members individually, listening to their concerns and sharing her vision in more intimate settings. Her approach was personal and genuine, focusing on building relationships and earning trust. In the cafeteria, she joined employees during lunch, engaging in conversations that ranged from work challenges to personal interests. Her ability to connect on a human level endeared her to many, and slowly, support for her vision began to grow. The whispers of doubt that had initially echoed in the halls started to fade, replaced by a cautious optimism. However, not everyone was on board. A faction led by James, a rival executive known for his focus on profit margins over ethics, was vocal in their resistance. During a heated meeting, James challenged Sarah's proposals, questioning their feasibility and potential impact on the bottom line. "Sarah, while your intentions are admirable, we must consider the financial implications," James argued, his tone sharp. "Our responsibility is to our shareholders, and these initiatives could cost us significantly." Sarah met his gaze, her expression calm yet resolute. "I understand your concerns, James, and I assure you that I've considered the financial aspects. However, I believe that by investing in sustainable practices now, we position ourselves for long-term success. Consumers are becoming more conscious of their choices, and aligning with their values can enhance our brand and loyalty." A murmur of agreement arose from some of the board members, but James remained unconvinced. "It's a risk," he insisted, crossing his arms defiantly. "Every great achievement involves some level of risk," Sarah countered, her voice unwavering. "But it's a calculated risk that I believe will set us apart and ensure our legacy endures." The tension in the room was palpable, a silent tug-of-war between opposing visions. Yet, Sarah sensed a shift, a subtle alignment of support from those who had once been undecided. Her message had resonated with many, igniting a spark of hope for a future where ethics and success were not mutually exclusive. As the meeting adjourned, Sarah felt a sense of accomplishment. The path ahead was still fraught with challenges, but she had taken a significant step in the right direction. Her father's legacy loomed large, but rather than being a shadow, it now felt like a guiding light, illuminating the way forward. Walking through the corridors of the company, Sarah reflected on the journey that had brought her here, from the unexpected discovery of her heritage to the present moment of potential transformation. Each step had been a lesson in resilience and courage, teaching her that true leadership was about more than power. It was about vision and the ability to inspire others to believe in it. In the weeks that followed, Sarah's vision began to take root within the company, slowly altering its course. While resistance persisted, the momentum of change was undeniable. It was a testament to her unwavering belief in the power of integrity and the promise of a brighter future for her family and the generations to come. And as she returned home each evening, greeted by the joyful laughter of her children, Sarah knew that the most profound change was not just in the company, but within herself. Her journey was far from over, but she was ready to face whatever lay ahead, armed with the strength of her convictions and the love that surrounded her. The boardroom was filled with an air of solemnity as Sarah entered, her presence commanding yet understated. The table was lined with members she had come to know well, some allies, others staunch critics, and today, they would all play pivotal roles in the next phase of her journey. The stakes were high, a palpable tension rippling through the room like a taut string ready to snap. Sarah took her place at the head of the table, her eyes scanning the faces before her, each etched with varying degrees of skepticism and curiosity. Her heart pounded, yet her resolve was unwavering. She knew the weight of her father's legacy rested heavily on her shoulders, but it was also her chance to prove that legacy could evolve into something more meaningful. James, her most vocal opponent, sat with his arms crossed, a visible wall of resistance. He had been a fixture in the company long before Sarah's arrival, a guardian of the old ways, wary of change. "Sarah," he began, his tone measured but firm, "we're all eager to hear your proposals. But I must stress, this is a pivotal moment for our company. The risks you're proposing could cost us dearly." Sarah acknowledged his concerns with a nod, understanding that his apprehension stemmed from a place of loyalty to the company. "James, I appreciate your dedication to safeguarding our interests," she replied, her voice steady. "But let me show you why this is more than just a risk, it's an opportunity." As she spoke, Sarah presented her vision with a clarity and passion that left little room for doubt. She highlighted the shifting market trends, the growing consumer demand for sustainable practices, and the long-term benefits of aligning the company with these values. Her arguments were supported by data, meticulously prepared to demonstrate the feasibility and potential success of her initiatives. "We can't afford to ignore the direction the world is heading," Sarah emphasized, her gaze meeting each board member's eyes. "Our legacy isn't just about preserving what my father built. It's about adapting and growing it into something future generations can be proud of." Her words resonated, a ripple of acknowledgement passing through the room. Even James, though not entirely convinced, seemed to recognize the validity in her arguments. The room fell silent for a moment, the weight of Sarah's words lingering in the air like a gentle yet persistent echo. The day of the vote arrived swiftly, the board convening once more to decide the fate of Sarah's proposals. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, each member acutely aware that their decision could redefine the company's future. As the discussions unfolded, Sarah listened intently, addressing concerns with a deft blend of empathy and insight. Her ability to engage constructively with dissenting voices gradually began to shift the dynamics of the room. Allies like Karen and Michael, who had shown support for her vision, spoke fervently about the potential for innovation and growth her initiatives promised. With each passing moment, the tide seemed to turn, a subtle yet undeniable momentum building in her favor. James, though still cautious, began to soften, acknowledging the validity of points he once dismissed. It was a testament to Sarah's persistence and the respect she had earned through her unwavering commitment to her father's legacy. When the time came for the vote, the room held its collective breath. Sarah watched, her heart a steady drum in her chest, as one by one, the board members cast their votes. The seconds stretched into eternity, each tick of the clock echoing like a heartbeat. Finally, the results were tallied, and a sense of anticipation hung thick in the air. As the chairperson announced the decision, a wave of relief and triumph washed over Sarah. The majority had voted in her favor. Her vision for the company, once a mere dream, was now a path forward, solidified by the collective will of those who believed in it. In that moment, Sarah realized she was no longer just the custodian of her father's legacy. She was shaping it, infusing it with her own values and aspirations. The triumph was not just hers but a shared victory, a testament to the power of conviction and the courage to embrace change. As the meeting adjourned, Sarah stood for a moment, absorbing the gravity of what had just transpired. The journey that had begun with uncertainty and doubt was now a testament to resilience and hope. She felt a profound sense of gratitude for those who had supported her and a newfound determination to honor the trust they had placed in her. Walking through the corridors of the company, Sarah reflected on the path ahead. The challenges were far from over, but she was ready to face them, armed with the strength of her convictions and the support of a team that believed in the possibilities of a brighter tomorrow. As she stepped into the sunlight outside, she felt the warmth of its rays, a symbol of the new dawn she had helped usher in, not just for the company, but for herself and her family. The corridors of Sterling Industries were awash with a gentle hum of activity, a testament to the vibrant energy that now coursed through its veins. Sarah walked with purpose, her footsteps a rhythmic affirmation of the journey she had undertaken, a journey that had not only tested her resolve, but had also redefined her identity. As she moved through the familiar halls, she could feel the weight of her father's legacy balanced by the buoyancy of her own vision. In the solitude of her office, Sarah paused to reflect. The room, a blend of modern elegance and historical resonance, bore witness to her evolution from uncertainty to assured leadership. On her desk lay a framed photograph, a snapshot of her family smiling under the sun, a reminder of the roots that grounded her and the future she was determined to build for her children. The path had been far from linear. There were moments of doubt, nights where the weight of expectation felt insurmountable. But through each challenge, she had found strength in unexpected places, in the unwavering support of her team, the quiet counsel of trusted allies, and the unwavering belief in her capacity to effect change. Her thoughts drifted to Michael, whose presence in her life echoed a chapter of both challenge and growth. Their relationship had been tested, strained by the revelations that had upended their world. Yet, in the aftermath, they had found a new rhythm, one built on a foundation of honesty and mutual respect. It was a dynamic she cherished, a testament to their resilience and commitment to walking this path together. Michael had been a constant presence, a steady hand amid the tumultuous waves of change. Their conversations, once fraught with tension, had evolved into dialogues rich with candor and understanding. It was a partnership forged in the crucible of adversity, one that promised a future of shared dreams and unwavering support. As the days turned to weeks, Sarah found herself standing at the precipice of possibility. Sterling Industries, once a symbol of her father's indomitable spirit, was now a canvas upon which she would paint her vision. The boardroom, once a battlefield, had become a space for innovation and collaboration, a testament to the power of her convictions. Sarah's vision for the company was bold, infused with a commitment to sustainability and social responsibility. She envisioned a future where Sterling Industries would lead by example, setting a precedent for ethical business practices and innovative solutions that transcended profit margins. It was a future she embraced with open arms, guided by the lessons of the past and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Her father's legacy was a constant presence, a guiding star that illuminated her path. Yet, it was no longer a shadow she walked in, it was a beacon that inspired her to forge her own identity, to build upon the foundation he had laid with integrity and purpose. She was no longer just the custodian of his dreams. She was the architect of her own. As she stood before the expansive windows of her office, the city skyline stretched out before her, a panorama of opportunity and potential. The sun bathed the room in a warm, golden light, a symbol of the new dawn she had ushered in. It was a moment of profound clarity, a reminder that the journey was far from over but filled with promise. The realization settled within her a quiet, unyielding confidence in the path she had chosen. Her identity, once a source of uncertainty, was now a tapestry woven with threads of resilience, hope, and love. She was ready to embrace the future, to chart a course that honored her heritage while carving out her own legacy. As the chapter of her life unfolded, Sarah felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought her here. It was a journey marked by transformation and growth, a testament to the power of conviction and the courage to embrace change. With her children by her side and the support of those who believed in her vision, Sarah was poised to make a lasting impact not just on Sterling Industries, but on the world. As she turned away from the window, a smile played on her lips, a reflection of the joy and anticipation that filled her heart. The story of Sarah Sterling was one of resilience and hope, a narrative that transcended the confines of her past and embraced the limitless possibilities of the future. She was ready to step into the light, to embrace her destiny with courage and grace, and to shape a legacy that would endure for generations to come. Before you go, tell me in the comments, if you discovered you were the hidden heir to a billionaire's empire, would you claim your birthright or walk away from it all? Your answer might surprise even you. And if you love powerful stories of hidden identities, shocking betrayals, and people reclaiming their destiny, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Every story is crafted to remind us that the truth always finds a way to surface, and when it does, everything changes. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next dramatic revelation. Thanks for watching. The next story might hit closer to home than you expect.